Hi, my name is Dr. Shannon O'Neill, and I'm a licensed psychologist within the Mount Sinai Health System. Working from home can stir up a variety of emotions. So although this modification initially included several benefits, such as less rush in the morning, a more flexible schedule, research has now found that the majority of employees working remotely reported a decline in their mental health, such as isolation, loneliness, and challenges with work-related boundaries. So at home, employees can feel quite distant from their colleagues, which can lead to symptoms of depression and anxiety. And without that added commute to an in-person office, some may experience more sedentary behavior. When physically deconditioned due to little movement throughout the day, a lot of chronic fatigue, burnout, these features of someone's experience may start to set in at that time. The current pandemic has caused a significant emotional and physical toll, which is a common culprit of mental wellness. Many are maxed out with their previous routine now being rather non-existent, and personal boundaries can feel like a distant memory. So our brains are being overtaxed with new acute stressors, which inevitably impacts cognitive clarity, mood, energy, motivation. And this psychological distress can be a result of sedentary behavior, poor diet, disrupted sleep, elevated stress, and just overcommitment to work in general. My number one suggestion is boundaries, both physical and emotional boundaries. Working in the same space you can live in really begins to blur your roles. So identifying a dedicated workspace that you can compartmentalize at the end of the day, cueing you to unplug and stop your work shift is one great step. Also, commuting from home was a way that we often decompressed and naturally transitioned from one life role to another. It can be helpful to find a new way to wind down from work and have a more intentional transition into the evening, into other life domains that you have responsibility in. You can get really creative with your own symbolic commute home, such as a post-work walk with your dog is one suggestion. Another suggestion would be just targeting stress management in general. There's a technique called time-based pacing, which can be very helpful for those who are struggling with not only chronic pain, but chronic fatigue. And pacing can also assist those who are struggling with procrastination due to just feeling overwhelmed, stressed, anxious, depressed. And so what it entails is setting an alarm and engaging in a task for an incremental period of time until that alarm goes off. It is most important to set this alarm for the amount of time you feel you have the capacity to tend to an activity without fatigue or distraction significantly impacting you. So have the alarm signal a stopping point rather than your body or the lack of focus telling you when to stop. And taking these abbreviated breaks before returning to the task and doing another incremental round of the activity. This can help just break down tasks into intervals, especially when it's difficult to initiate a significant work project that feels as though it needs to be tackled all at once. I'm sure everyone has heard this before, but I will say it again. I would emphasize structure. Trying to create a new normal, incorporating any mini routines that offer added structure to your work from home atmosphere can be very helpful. Imagine setting a designated time that you check emails in the morning. Just having this accessibility to our work so readily, it's very easy to wake up and immediately go onto your email. Having an earliest time you can check in with work, let's say even waiting until 8 a.m. establishes structure in the morning, really protects some boundaries. Of course, also making sure receiving adequate sleep, frequent exercise, a healthy diet, and naturally engaging in pleasurable activities. So even if you don't feel like it, trying to challenge yourself to let actions lead and feelings will follow. So I tend to give the example of going to the gym. It is very often a dreaded activity, and dragging ourselves there is a common feature of the scenario. However, once behaviorally getting yourself there, no one ends a workout feeling disappointed that they did it. So hopefully with time and repetition of a specific behavior, feelings will begin to catch up to.